Saturday, April 12th. We are less than 2 weeks away from, I guess, the end of the NFL draft, right? 2 weeks away from it start, less than 2 weeks away from it starting. Starts on Thursday, what is it, the 24th, I believe. So we're almost there. We're getting there slowly but surely. We are almost there having real landing spots, just finally getting questions and we've been talking about this. I keep talking about it, but the first time I put out a rookie mock draft, a recorded one, was all the way back on December 29th. So we've been literally talking about this for by the time the draft comes, for 4 months, right? And so it'll be nice to finally get some clarity on where people are going, and yeah, I'm excited for it. What is up, two distinguished gentlemen? How's it going? Yeah, things are going well here. Hopefully, everyone's having a great start of their weekend. Yeah, we're excited to potentially do a rookie mock. If anyone wants to do a rookie mock with us, you can hop on into this rookie mock. We'll probably be live for just under an hour, maybe about an hour. We'll see. We will see here. But if you guys want to hop in, go ahead and hop in there, claim your spot. We'll be doing a rookie mock draft with some landing spots here. Kevin, how's it going? Yeah, I'm excited for the draft too. Although, it'll be interesting to see a lot of talk about how this isn't the best draft and all of that, stuff, and this draft isn't great or whatever. So we'll have to see how it actually turns out. But I hope it's a good draft. So we will be live after the first round. We'll go live right after the first round, and reacting to it, doing rookie mocks and all that stuff. And we're also going to be doing a giveaway at that time. What's up, Cass? We're going to be doing a giveaway at that time. So if you want to enter that giveaway, all you have to do is join our Discord here. Go down to the content release section. There's a giveaway channel, and just type a hello, hi, whatever it is that you want to type there. And we're going to be drawing a winner at the end in our live stream after the first round of the draft. So, yeah, no worries, Cass. If you can't, go for it. Link is here if you want to join the mock. Probably not going to be able to fill it today. We're just, these couple of weeks before the draft are always a little bit slower than regular times. But we'll probably start it up in about 5-10 minutes. We are using landing spots. By the way, we're going to go through some of those landing spots. This is from a CBS mock draft. We used this on Thursday night as well. But yeah, these couple of weeks before, especially on weekends, the weather's getting warmer. There's more sunlight, and maybe it's spring break for some people and things like that. So we'll see if we can fill this up, at least get half full. So if anyone wants to join. It, hop on in. We still have several spots here. I'm going to move back to I'll stay here. At the 3 spots. So yeah, hop on in, guys. If you want to join, we'll start this bad boy up in, 5-ish minutes or so. See if we can get some more people in here. If you have any questions, of course, Dynasty questions, of course, make sure to leave them in the chat, and we will answer them to fill some time here. So, but let's go over some of the landing spots here in this world we're living in. So we're living in a world where this is how the NFL draft goes, because this is a 7-round mock draft. Again, if you want to open it up and follow along, link is right here. It's a CBS 7-round mock draft posted on April 9th, so just a few days ago. We have Cam Ward to the Titans and Travis Hunter to the Browns. This is seemingly how it's going to go. Yeah, Cass, you have a ridiculous amount of picks. This is seemingly how it's going to go in the NFL draft. Is Ward 101 and Travis Hunter 102. That's kind of, unless the Browns are bluffing or something and they want someone to trade up potentially. I don't know why they would, but this is seemingly how it's going to go. So I'm curious what you guys think. If Travis Hunter goes to the Browns, do we think that means he's more of a receiver or more of a cornerback? Because I lean receiver. I mean, you look at their depth chart right now. They have Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, and then Michael Woods, the second, is their wide receiver 3, and Jamari Thrash is their wide receiver 4. So not a great wide receiver room at the moment. Ashton Genty is a Jag. That's a new one. Ted McMillan's a Raider. Shador Sanders is a Jet. Tyler Warren is a Charger. They trade up for him and take. So we love that. Matthew Golden is a Cardinal, which I actually don't mind that landing spot for him. I think that would be potentially a decent landing spot for Golden if that offense could get going. Colston Loveland's a Bronco. Emeka Ibuka is a Packer. Jackson Dart is a Brown. Second round pick is a Brown. Amarion Hampton is a Giant, which is a new one, going 34th overall. Quinshawn Judkins is a Bear. We love that landing spot. Luther Burden is a Saint. Jalen Knoll is a Jet. Trey Harris is a Cowboy. Mason Taylor, a Colt. Jack Besh, a Ram. That's a good spot for Jack Besh. Top 50 draft capital goes to the Rams. I love that. Year one, I'm not sure how decent. Obviously if Puka and Devontae Adams both stay healthy, year one's going to be a little bit tough. He'll still be relevant, but I don't think he'll be like dependable. But after that, man, Jack Besh could be awesome. Jaden Higgins is a Seahawk. Travion Henderson is a Bronco. Bayshall Tootin goes in the second round to the Dolphins. I don't know how to react to that. I really don't know how to react to that at all. Great draft capital. I like the player, and him going this high I've never seen before, but to the Dolphins is interesting. Jalen Milroe this is the third round. Jalen Milroe is a Giant. Jalen Royals is a Chief. Isaiah Bond is a Brown. Kyle Williams, seeing him get draft mocked in the third round a lot more. Kyle Williams out of Washington State is a Patriot. Tej Johnson's a Bear. Harold Fannin Jr. is a Ram. Alec Iomanner is a Texan. Terrence Ferguson is a Buccaneer. Cam Scattaboo is a Charger. Ty Felton is a Raven. Tyler Shuck is a Seahawk. By the way, guys, we're doing a rookie mock draft. If you want to join it, we got looks like we got we got 6 spots open. So we'd love if we can get a few more people in there. I'm leaving the link to the rookie mock here in the chat. So fill that bad boy up. That would be great if you could. DJ Giddens. I love Giddens, man. Every time I watch DJ Giddens film, I just fall more and more in love with him. He is a Saint. Jalen Lane is an Eagle. Torrey Horton is a Titan. And the Titans don't take any other they take Cam Ward 101, and they don't take any other skill position player there. So, like, Torrey Horton and Calvin Ridley is kind of all they have at the moment. Elijah Arroyo is a Patriot. This is round 4. Dylan Sampson's a Raider. Dante Thornton is a Bill. Caleb Johnson falls to the 4th round, but he goes to the Cowboys. Elijah Badger is a Panther. Andrew Armstrong is a Bengal. Will Howard is a Ram. Jaden Blue is a Chief. You guys can check out the rest of it. Again, link is in the description here if you want to check it out. You can check out all the rest of link is right here. Link is in the description and in the chat here. You can check out all the landing spots. Some notable ones, though, guys that people really like. Devin Neal falls to the 7th round. So he goes all the way in the 7th round. That's going to kill his dynasty value. And Damian Martinez does not get drafted at all. So interesting. This is the world we're living in here. Check out the rest of those. We are going to do a 12-team Superflex PPR 1.25 tight end premium. So tight ends are going to get 2.25 per reception. We're going to see if we can get just a couple more people into this mock draft. We're going to start this up in just 2 or 3 minutes, guys. So if anyone else wants to join, we have 5 spots open. Go ahead and hop in there. Let's get to some of these questions. Yeah, 12 picks. How many fantasy relevant players do you think there could be? I have 20 picks. I've been telling people I really like the top 12 to 15 guys. I really like early second round. I think early second round picks, if you can acquire those still, try to get those because I think there's going to be really good players falling there. And we'll see from this draft, as an example. But I think there's going to be good players. It's tough. It's tough to know for sure. Like to say that we're going to get 12, 15 fantasy relevant players in one draft, that's like a lot. So I feel like half of your picks, if you could potentially, depending on where they are, bottom dollar bets, I would say 8 to 10 guys. I would feel pretty confident in because a lot of them are running backs, and running backs are just a lot easier to be fantasy relevant. So let's just say 8 to 10, I would be very happy with if we had 8 to 10 fantasy relevant players out of this draft. and maybe even higher because again, running backs are very common. So, Mark, happy Saturday, addicts. Yeah, we're all here. We are all addicts here. With Flacco, wide receiver too. Yeah, Flacco back is interesting. He'll target Judy. Judy's going to be awesome. Maybe Cedric Tillman, maybe Travis Hunter if he goes there. Mark, you got to get on Sleeper, my man. Got to get on Sleeper. Pretty easy to sign up, but yeah, I need to change it to linear. You're right. Thank you for that. Change it to linear. 60 seconds per pick. I'll make the picks for the computers if no one else joins. We'll make this a 4-round. So let me set these up so you can. You might need to refresh to see the 4th round here, but I'm changing it to 4 rounds here. There we go. Anyone else wants to join, guys? Link is here. I'm going to leave it in the one more time. I'm going to give you guys 2 more minutes, and then we're starting this up. If anyone else wants to join, we got 5 spots open. We got 5 spots open still. So 12 team super flex PPR 1.25 premium. So and that's Paul. That's the format. So. We got 4 spots left. We're going to give it 1 more minute. I don't want to keep everyone waiting here. That's already here. So appreciate everyone. If you guys have any draft questions, dynasty questions, make sure to leave them in the chat. Yeah. And then once again, we are doing a giveaway. We're going to be doing a giveaway, a free team review. We're doing a free team review. We're going to be drawing the name as we're going to go live after the first round of the NFL draft on Thursday. And we're going to react to the draft. We're going to do rookie mock drafts. And then we're going to draw a name. We're going to do a giveaway. All you have to do is literally join our Discord. It's free. Go down to the content release section. Go down to the giveaway section. Just type a name, hello, hi, a GIF, whatever, and then you're entered. And we're going to draw the name after the on our live stream after the first round. So, but I think we're going to start this bad boy up. I will pick for the for these for 9 through 12, just so we don't have the computer auto pick. And once again, this is a 12-team Superflex PPR 1.25 premium with landing spots. So check out those landing spots in the description of the video. There's a link to it. And of course, guys, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Like the video and subscribe if you're not. So let's get this bad boy started. At the 101, I think it's going to be no surprise, but maybe there will be a surprise. Maybe there will be a surprise. Blue Samurai, there is no surprise. Ashton Genty off the board. Omarion Hampton off the board. That's kind of how I think the 1 and 2 should go. I think Omarion Hampton's a lock for the 102 if he's a first-round pick, personally. I think he's a lock. Yeah, I think Omarion Hampton's a lock for the 102 if he's a first-round pick. Now, Omarion Hampton was not a first-round pick, but I still think him going 34th overall to the Giants puts him in as the 102 there. But you could argue, and I'm going to take Cam Ward here. You could argue Cam Ward. I would say even if you're super desperate at the 101 and you need quarterbacks, I wouldn't mind you taking Cam Ward if you can't trade out of that 101 for whatever reason, and just taking Cam Ward if you really need quarterbacks. You know, like I don't think it's crazy to think that, just because it kind of reminds me of the Bijan year, right? The Bijan year was like Bijan 101 and no one else. And now you can maybe make an argument. I know Stroud had a down year, but if Stroud has a good year in year 3, there's an argument for Bijan being, Stroud should have been the 101 in that draft class. As we see Ted McMillan and Quinshon Judkins off the board. Yeah, Quinshon Judkins going to the Bears, 39th overall, I think it is amazing draft capital landing spot. I think we love that. Tyler Warren, you can make an argument for Tyler Warren being even higher. In one of our listener leagues, we play in a 1.25. We play in this format. So tight ends get 2.25 per reception. Historically, over the last from 2019 to 2024, the most valuable player, according to WAR, wins above replacement. The most valuable player in that league is the tight end 1, which has been Kelsey basically, but it's been the tight end 1. So there's an argument for Warren going even higher, in my opinion, in this kind of format. As we got Wetzel on the board, I meant to put. By the way, I meant to put a minute and a half, so I'm going to do that once Wetzel picks here. I'll put a minute and a half on the board. Sorry about that. I meant to do that for you guys. So just to give you a little bit more time to look through the draft, if the mock draft, if you need to. As we see Travion Henderson off the board. Yeah, I agree with all these picks. These would be my my top 7 if the draft went this way. This would be my top 7. As we see Travion Henderson go to the Broncos, 51st overall. So I think he's perfect, man. Broncos and Travion Henderson to me is a perfect landing spot. Whether I think sneaky chance Travion Henderson goes 20th overall to the Broncos. Sneaky. I just think that fit Travion Henderson, the Broncos is like a match made in heaven. We see Caleb Johnson go. By the way, Caleb Johnson was drafted in the 4th round. So he falls a little bit. He goes to the Cowboys though. Like you got to love that landing spot. So I don't mind taking him still because that landing spot is amazing. But he does fall to the 4th round, so that could affect how people draft him. But Finns is saying, you know what? I don't care. I love Caleb Johnson. I love the landing spot. Let's take him. For the team 9 here, I'll go ahead and take Shedeur Sanders. I know people are down on him, but he's still a quarterback drafted 7th overall, and quarterbacks are so hard to scout and so hard to predict who's going to be good. So I kind of trust the NFL to a certain extent, saying, okay, if someone in the NFL, one team thinks they're going to be pretty good, then or they deserve to be a 7th overall pick, then I'm going to kind of draft accordingly. I'm going to go ahead and take Colston Loveland here, who does fall to the Broncos, 20th overall. We'll go Matthew Golden next here as I make these picks. Matthew Golden is a Cardinal. Do you guys like that landing spot for Golden? Matthew Golden to the Cardinals. Do you guys like it? I kind of like it because I think Matthew Golden's like the perfect Robin to someone's Batman, right? Like the Jordan Addison or Jameson Williams type of production, And then I'll go ahead and take Jackson Dart here. I'm going to pause it real quick. Give me your guys' thoughts on the first round. The first round here. What's your favorite pick? Your least favorite pick? By the way, Jackson Dart goes 33rd overall to the Browns. So does that change now that this mock draft was made before Flacco was signed? But what's your guys' favorite pick of the first round? I really like the Travion Henderson pick. I think getting Loveland at the 110 in a tight end premium is really, really nice. Adam says he likes Judkins to the Bears and Henderson to the Broncos a lot. Yeah, me too. I love it. Love it. I love those landing spots. And I love Hampton. Hampton on the Giants isn't bad too, because I think that offense could be better for sure, and I don't mind Omari and Hampton to the Giants there. So yeah, do you guys have a favorite pick? I like Golden. If he goes that high, he's going to get steamed up. Yeah, absolutely. And people are talking about he could potentially be the first wide receiver taken. So there's a world where that happens. There is a world where that happens. But yeah, we have some interesting. This is to me. These are my besides Caleb Johnson. This is kind of my top 12 here. I think. I think Caleb Johnson would fall a little bit for me if he fell to the 4th round. But I understand, like 4th round running backs still hit at a pretty high rate. So we'll get this started, bad boy started back up. But yeah, tell me what picks you guys like in that first round. Appreciate everyone here watching. I know we're all excited for the draft. Make sure to hit the like button on this video. Just gets more eyes on the video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. And just appreciate you guys. If you guys have any questions, dynasty questions, whatever, drop them in the chat and we will answer them. And of course, join our Discord, right? I'm going to leave the link once again in the description or in the chat. Join our Discord. It's free. We're doing a giveaway when we go live after the first round of the NFL draft. We're doing a giveaway, a free team review. All you have to do is join our Discord to enter. There's a little giveaway section, and we'll get you in there. We will get you in there. As we got Blue Samurai on the clock with the 201 here. Let's see which way he goes. And yeah, I think it's an interesting, and you're going to see some of these players here as we see Luther Burden go off the board. This is why I love the early second round. Right? This is why I love the early second round. It is because of some of the players you're going to get here. Luther Burden, for a lot of people, is their wide receiver 1 or 2 in this draft class. And he falls a little bit. He falls to the Saints 40th overall. So, he falls outside of the first round, but he still goes 40th overall to the Saints. And you're getting him at the 201, right? It's good value there. And you can't really argue him, like, no matter who you argue, like, oh, Luther Burden shouldn't go here. Well, who are you going to put there? Are you going to put Colston Loveland there in a 1.25 tight end premium? Are you going to put Matthew Golden there, a 16th overall pick at the receiver position? Jackson Dart, who could be the starting quarterback for the Browns, halfway through the season? Like, who are you arguing to put there? So there's just going to be a good player no matter what that falls, right? That won't usually happen. Dart was a reach. You can say that for sure, but again, I think quarterbacks in a superflex league are valuable, and especially in a draft class where we're not super confident in the quarterbacks, especially outside of these top 3 guys, right? So I can absolutely see someone. Now, this mock draft was made before Flacco signed, so does that change what the Browns do? Are they going to draft? Are they going to draft a quarterback 33rd overall? But I don't know. I think there's enough hype for Jackson Dart to potentially for him to go in the first round. And even if he doesn't, you're still getting good value for him here. Cass, I think you could still make the pick there if you want to make that pick. But I'll give you about 10, 15 seconds. If not, I'll go ahead and make that pick for you. But you should still be able to make the pick, even though you timed out there. I know you're working. So no worries. But yeah, I kind of agree with you, Mark. Like, maybe it's a slight reach, but like, I don't think it's crazy to say that he goes there. And I'm going to go ahead and make this pick for you. I'm going to go Travis Hunter, Cass. I'm going to go Travis Hunter there. And then I'm going to take Cam Scattaboo, who goes to the Chargers. I like Scattaboo a lot. I know people are kind of iffy about him. He goes to the Chargers in the 3rd round. 3rd round hit rates for running backs is still really good. And do I think he's going to be amazing year 1? No, because I do think Najee Harris is going to be used a lot. I still think Scattaboo can be usable in fantasy for sure. But I really like him, and the things that I like about him is that he can catch the ball well. He breaks tackles. He can run in between the tackles. He can pass block. I don't think he's amazing at pass blocking, but he's a willing pass blocker, and I think he can get better. So I just think a team's going to fall in love with all of those things and definitely going to take him. So what are your thoughts on Hunter if he comes out as that he's drafted as a wide receiver? A couple things here, Adam. I don't think we're going to know what Hunter's going to play by the time we're doing our rookie drafts. Unless you do your rookie drafts in like August or something. If you do them in May or June, I don't think we're going to know. Now, the Browns are seemingly going to take him at the 102, right? The Browns are seemingly going to take Travis Hunter at the 102. And they have talked up like his wide receiver abilities, right? And his ability to play the wide receiver position. And you look at the Browns depth chart, they have Jerry Jeudy and then Cedric Tillman, who I know he had a good stretch there for a few games, but let's be honest, like a lot of guys can have a good 3-4 game stretch, right? So I don't think it's a lock that like Cedric Tillman is just like, oh yeah, a really good wide receiver too. There's a chance. And then Michael Woods, the second or third, is their wide receiver 3, and Jamari Thrash. I muted myself there. Jamari Thrash is the wide receiver 4. As we see Trey Harris off the board. Sorry, just fixing my microphone there. So if he goes to the Browns, I think there's a very good chance he's a wide receiver. I think they're going to play him on both sides, but I think there's a very, very good chance he's a wide receiver. And the problem is I don't think we're going to know. So I think like late first round is where I'm comfortable taking him if we don't know, right? I know some people will take him higher, and that's fine. That's fine if you want to take him higher. As we see Emeka Ibuka off the board, Trey Harris off the board. By the way, Trey Harris was drafted to the Cowboys, 44th overall. I'm not a big Trey Harris fan, but 44th overall to the Cowboys, and the Cowboys desperately need a second option. I don't hate that landing spot at all, and I don't hate taking him in this range. DJ Giddens, I just love DJ Giddens so much, man. He goes to the third round to the Saints, so that's interesting. I think he year one, even with Kamara there, he gets used. You just sniped me twice. I was going to take Hunter, and then when you took, I was going to take Scat. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Who did you end up taking, Chip? Emeka Ibuka. I mean, you still got Emeka Ibuka, who was a first-round pick at the wide receiver position. He just goes to the Packers. What do we think of that landing spot for Ibuka on the Packers? Does it feel like he's just another wide receiver two-ish type of player? He's another, he's not an alpha wide receiver one, which the Packers potentially need. We see Mason Taylor off the board. Again, 1.25 tight end premium going to the Colts. So I like that. And then we see Jalen Milroe off the board. Jalen Milroe got drafted to the Giants in the third round. So I could see Milroe starting this year pretty easily. I'm going to go ahead and take my boy Dylan Sampson. I'm a huge Dylan Sampson fan. I have him in the same tier as Quinshon Judkins. That's how big of a Dylan Sampson fan I am. Now, the separating factor could be where they go in the draft and who they get drafted to. Dylan Sampson was a fourth-round pick, I believe, but he goes to the Raiders. And right now, the Raiders have Raheem Mostert and Sincere McCormick. So it's not, Raiders need a running back, and is that going to be Dylan Sampson? We will see. And then we're going to go ahead and take here, who's next up on my rankings? Jack Besh go? Jack Besh did not go. I like Jack Besh going to the Rams. I think people are starting to compare him to Puka in terms of how he wins. Not saying he's going to be Puka Nacua, but how he wins on the field is Puka Nacua-ish or Puka Nacua-like. And he goes to the Rams, Besh. So year one, I don't know what kind of production we're going to see if Adams and Nacua are healthy all year. But one, Adams is older, and Puka Nacua has injury issues. He had in college, and he had them, his first couple of years here. We'll go ahead and take Jalen Knoll. Jalen Knoll gets top 50 draft capital, 42nd overall to the Jets. Jets desperately need a second wide receiver option there. And we're going to go Bashal Tutin here. What do we do with Bashal Tutin if he goes second round? He gets second round draft capital, but he goes to the Dolphins. Is this kind of where he should go? I think so. But, man, I don't know how to really interpret that at all. I think the Dolphins are going to go back to using two running backs, but he's not going to supplant Achane, of course. And then you still got to battle it out with Jalen Wright still. I don't think Jalen Wright is just gone. So we'll see there. I like it. He's the best wide receiver there. Yeah, I agree. You're talking about Travis Hunter, I assume, right? Ibuka was a safe pick, and I just went with the talent. Yeah, for sure. And he could emerge as the best wide receiver for the Packers, right? He could absolutely emerge as the best receiver for the Packers. Going to be hard for Ibuka to get targets in Green Bay. Yeah, I agree. It's frustrating. And the Packers never take first-round wide receivers. And now this is the year that they do it, right? I don't think the Packers are going to go wide receiver first round, but I guess I wouldn't be shocked. It's just, man, Ibuka just feels kind of like the Bills getting Josh Palmer. It's all right, you're throwing another wide receiver 2/3 into the mix, right? With Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir and Curtis Samuel and Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. Ibuka on the Packers just feels like you're throwing in another wide receiver that I don't think is going to be an alpha one into a group of guys that are just they're good wide receiver 2s and 3s when they're healthy, but we still need that alpha one. As Blue Samurai, I don't see the green dot by him, so I might make this pick for Blue Samurai. I'll go ahead and take Harold Fannin Jr. Fannin goes to the Rams as well. This is a tight end premium, so I love that landing spot for Fannin. And I love that value. The 301 in a heavy tight end premium league, going to the Rams. I think the Rams are going to use him correctly, use him the right way. So I really like that. Oh, Ollie Gordon. Okay, Blue Samurai did make the pick. I don't know what just happened there. Ignore everything I said. Harold Fannin is not off the board. It's Ollie Gordon there. I don't know if my internet's lagging a little bit or not, but Jaden Higgins off the board. By the way, Ollie Gordon did not get drafted in this mock draft, so can't really talk about. He went undrafted, so we don't know where he went, but he did go undrafted. So okay, I'll go ahead and take Harold Fannin here then since I talked him up for that pick as chip chaser. Hopefully I didn't snipe you this time, but appreciate everyone watching. We got almost 30 people watching live, which is awesome. Shows the excitement we have for the NFL draft coming up. If you guys are new to the channel, just make sure to hit the subscribe button for us. Obviously, hit the like on this if you're watching on replay. Hit the like, comment what you liked, what you didn't like, and join our Discord, guys. If you want to, a couple things on why to join our Discord. One, you'll know when we go live. Two, you can get into a listener league. We have 2 listener leagues already set up. We're drafting. One of them's finished. Another one's coming towards the end. We have like 2 more rounds of the draft. We're probably going to do one more startup listener league. So you get to play against us and other listeners in the channel. We're probably only going to do one more for this off season. So I think we have about 6 or 7 people committed. I think we need 3, 4, maybe 5 more. So there's a listener league section there. We're also doing a giveaway. We're going to give away a free team review. So all you have to do is join the Discord, go down to content release section, go down to giveaways, and just type something in there, and you're entered into the free team review giveaway. And when we're going to draw names, we're going to draw names after the first round of the NFL draft. So that's obviously Thursday night. After the first round, we're going to go live. We're going to do rookie mocks for several hours, and we're going to do a giveaway, and we're going to draw the name then. So it's literally free. All you have to do is spend 10 seconds of your time. Joining the Discord. So I guess it's not technically free. As we see, Jaden Blue off the board, Elijah Arroyo, Jaden Blue, Kyle Williams, and Will Howard. Where did Will Howard go in this draft? He went to the Rams in the 4th round. So, okay. All right. Don't mind it there. Elijah Arroyo goes to the Patriots in the 4th round. Jaden Blue goes to the Chiefs in the 4th round. And Kyle Williams is a 3rd round pick, and he goes to the Patriots. And then we see Xavier Restrepo go off the board. I don't think Restrepo went in this draft, but so can't comment on that. I like the Jaden Blue pick because I think he would be like Jerick McKinnon was a couple years ago. I think Jerick McKinnon had 50 plus catches. He had over 800 yards, and I think he had like 10 touchdowns or something like that. So I kind of think Jaden Blue goes to the Chiefs and he becomes their Jerick McKinnon again, which I think the Chiefs really, really need for their offense. Like, I don't think Pacheco, or I think they tried to make Samaje Perine that, but it didn't really work out. I think someone like Jaden Blue could really fit that role there. I'll go ahead and take my boy Jalen Royals. I love Jalen Royals. I think he's my wide receiver 5 in this draft class. The problem is he never gets good draft capital. So he goes 3rd round, and he goes to the Chiefs. So I think that's interesting. I think for him to be fantasy relevant, you're going to need Mahomes to get back to that 5,000 yard, 40 touchdown type of production. But we'll go ahead and take Jalen Royals there. Next up, we'll go Elick Eilmanor. Eilmanor was like, kind of like after, this was before Golden declared, all the way back in January. It was like Ted McMillan, Luther Burden, Emeka Ibuka, and then Eilmanor was like the next guy people were talking about. He's definitely fallen a bit, but I don't mind where he goes. He goes to the Texans in the 3rd round. So Texans are another team. They kind of need a consistent second option. He kind of needs a consistent second option. The Texans do. Now that Tank Dell is probably going to miss this season or most of it. We already did Jaden Blue. We already did Elijah Arroyo. So next up on my list here is Torrey Horton, who I really like taking a shot on in these mid to late third round. Really like taking a shot on him because I think he's a good player and he gets a good spot as well. Torrey Horton goes to the Titans in the 3rd round. And the Titans didn't draft any skill position player. They drafted Cam Ward 101 and no one else. So Torrey Horton is like there with Calvin Ridley. So like there's definitely opportunity for Horton. And then I'll go ahead and take RJ Harvey, who was a 5th round pick to the Patriots, I believe. So Let's get to some of these questions. Marvin says he made an unexpected trade. A 14-man league in my inbox was offered my newly acquired Brian Robinson for the 210 and a 26 second. I would take 2 seconds for Brian Robinson. I would want the 2 second side. I think there's a very good chance. To me, the Commanders are a prime candidate team to draft a running back at the end of the first round or in the second round or in the third round. And I just don't think Brian Robinson's special. I think he's fine. He's an average running back that if you give him the carries, he's going to do kind of the minimum for you, but he's not going to be special. He's not going to, make a difference for your offense. He's just going to kind of do the minimum, in my opinion. So I think they try and go out and get that difference maker weapon, and I think there's a very good chance one of it's on the running back side of things. So I would take the 2 seconds pretty happily. I have right now Brian Robinson ranked as the I have him ranked as the 209 to the 212. So you're literally getting what I think you should be getting for him, what I'd be okay trading him away for, and you're getting a second on top of it. So to me, Marvin, that's a smash. Mark says these drafts are useful even before the actual drafts. Just get a feel for how people are valuing them. Helps with the layout of my strategy. Absolutely. And if we're using landing spots, for example, Caleb Johnson went 4th round, right? But then Finn says, I don't care. I'm still taking Caleb Johnson. So some people are going to say, I don't really care where Caleb Johnson goes. As long as he goes in the first 3 or 4 rounds, I'm still going to take him at the 108, 109, 110 range. There's a lot of good stuff you can get from this, assuming people are using, these landing spots. So Marvin says the 205, 207, 210, 301 in 2025. Yeah, I would take that, Marvin, pretty easily. I would take it. Running back looks like a lock. I only have Charbonnet, Walker, and Pollard. I think that's a fine running back room, considering you're gonna find some running backs here in the second round. You're gonna find some guys here in the second round. So as we see Devin Neal off the board, Devin Neal was a 7th round pick, unfortunately. I know a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people like Devin Neal. I don't think he goes 7th round. I'm a little bit lower on Devin Neal than most. I still like him though. But I don't think he falls past. I'd be surprised if he fell past the 5th round, personally. So you should be able to find 1 or 2. Plus, you have Kenneth Walker and Pollard, and then you've handcuffed Walker with Charbonnet. That running back room, assuming you can hit on one guy in the second round with all those picks, that running back room to me is fine. Is fine enough to compete here. Ooh, I should make my pick, huh? Let's go with Tej Johnson. I think he went to the Bears. I don't really love that landing spot. I like it for Caleb more than anything. Give Mahomes weapons and the yards will come. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And then if you think about if they do take a Jalen Royals, you have Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Jalen Royals. I love that wide receiver room. You still have Kelsey, a little bit older, but you still have Kelsey. Let's say you get a running back like Jaden Blue or something, right? And now you give him that outlet, that check down option that can do something with it. I think Mahomes could easily put up, 5,040 plus again. They had Dusty Hunt and the remnants of Pacheco. Yeah, for defense too, they play to play against the pass. Yep. Ricky One says the draft always throws us curves when a team takes someone no one had on the radar. Any ideas or thoughts onto who? Maybe a player like Savion Williams. I love Savion Williams. Let me start off by saying that I made a video on him, or not specifically him, but he was in one of my videos all the way back in January. And the video was basically just like players I'm higher on than consensus. Dylan Sampson was up there. Savion Williams was up there. I forget who else was in there. I love Savion Williams a lot. And I really hope he goes 3rd or 4th round. And I think he could. And if a team takes him there, they have to use him. If a team takes him there in the 3rd or 4th round, they have to use him like Cordell Patterson. If they're just going to line him up and say, go play outside X receiver, he's not going to be successful. But if I hope he goes to a team like the Rams, to a team like the 49ers, and just in terms of teams that I think will use him correctly, maybe the Dolphins, to where like they use him as a hybrid player. So I wouldn't be surprised if Savion Williams goes, um, day 2 or early day 3. And I would be very excited about it. I just think he's a weapon. I think he can be a weapon potentially in the return game as well. And, if you're just looking for weapons here, like why not take a guy like Savion Williams who can really, he can do it all. He can do everything for your offense. So we had Isaiah Bond off the board, RJ Harvey off the board there. Tej Johnson, Terrence Ferguson. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a couple guys here, sleeper guys that I like. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt is a sleeper for me out of Arizona. Only played in one game, was missed the rest of the season because of a eligibility issue, but was the East West Shrine Bowl MVP, offensive MVP. So I kind of like him. Someone took my boy Savion Williams. So don't really love much else from the wide receiver room. So we'll finish off with a couple. We'll go Brashard Smith, who I think is intriguing. Gunnar Helm, why not? And we'll finish this off with where did Quinn Ewers? Did Quinn Ewers get drafted here? He went to the Colts. Yeah, why not? We'll take Quinn Ewers with the 5th round here. We'll stay live for about 10-ish more minutes, guys, 10, 15 more minutes. And if you guys have any other questions, leave them in and we'll kind of get to these. I'll leave the board up here for a second, but pretty interesting. I basically agree with all these players that went in this second round. 3rd and 4th round is going to be a toss-up a little bit until, we actually know where these guys go. But there's still some good value in the 3rd round. Guys like Ollie Gordon, Elijah Arroyo and Harold Fannin in a tight end premium league is good value. Guys like Jalen Royos, Alec Eilmanor, Torrey Horton, some wide receivers there, Jaden Blue. I like the running backs, Devin Neal, Damian Martinez that went in the 4th round. So there's a lot of good value in this draft. And the reason is because there's so many running backs. So the running backs are going to push wide receivers, tight ends, and quarterbacks down the board. Well, really wide receivers and tight ends down the board. And then when, this is kind of how I see the draft going. 1st round is, we know who's going to go mostly, for the most part, in the 1st round. 2nd round, you're going to get a lot of running backs taken. Here we had 4, Scattaboo, Giddens, Sampson, and that's going to push down some wide receivers like, Royals, Eilmanor, Horton. So then those wide receivers are going to go in the 3rd round. And then the 4th round, we're going to come back and take a lot of running backs that we also like. And knowing that running backs have a good chance of hitting. So we take a lot of running backs here. So I think the draft's going to kind of go that way for sure. Marvin says that Dart is picked in the 1st round. Where do we draft him? I think if Dart goes in the 1st round or early 2nd to a QB needy team, he should be a borderline 1st round pick. Anywhere from the 110 to the 203 in that range of guys, that tier of guys. Depends on your league settings. Obviously, it needs to be a super flex. And if it's tight end premium, it maybe pushes him back a little bit. Like a heavy tight end premium, but I think he should go in that late 1st to early 2nd round, personally. I want to trade him and get my QB3. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to get him if he goes 1st round. I definitely don't think you're getting him there. So you would need to trade up into the late 1st. But I wouldn't do that until you're on, like, the draft is happening because you just don't know. Someone might reach and take him at the 108 or something, and then you're shit out of luck, basically, right? If you play in a slow draft, rookie draft, just kind of wait, see how the draft's going, and then make your move. I'm a top team and don't ever see a quarterback getting sent to me. Yeah, you can also maybe take like a Jalen Milroe, but we don't really know what's going to happen there. Mark says he took over a team that only has one running back, Rico Dowdle, and the rest of my team is solid. I've got the 102, 112, 202, 204, and a 1st. So yeah, you're looking at Omarion Hampton potentially. If you're gonna take running back, if you're really targeting running back at the 112, then maybe a guy like Scattaboo, Giddens, Sampson, that tier of players. I think Genty, Hampton obviously gone. Judkins, Henderson obviously gone. Maybe Caleb Johnson falls if he falls in the draft a little bit, but you probably have to reach a little bit if you want a running back at the 112 with a Scattaboo, Giddens, Sampson, unless a couple of these guys go 2nd round, then it's not so much a reach. And then you should be able to find someone 202, 24. I would probably still take best player available at the 112. I want to offer a 26 first and a 26 second, maybe throw in my 26 third. I have a hard time guessing which pick to trade for. Yeah, I wouldn't, again, Marvin, I would wait. I would wait until the draft is on the clock here. I don't really want to trade away my future first for a late first in this draft class, just because it doesn't, you lose some flexibility there. But I would try and wait until the draft, and really you can kind of make that determination as you're on the clock. Okay, Jackson Dart's falling. Because, like, what if he potentially falls a little bit to like the 201 or something, 202, and you don't have to trade your 26 first for it? I'm expecting to try and get a number 6 at least. What is your strategy? Number 6 for what? Number 6 draft pick, Marvin? Let me know if you're talking about a. I don't know what you mean by number 6 there. Let me know what you mean by that, and I'll get back to that. Damian Martinez and Devin Neal do not get by me in the third round, regardless of landing spot. There you go, and that's good to know. That's why we do this stuff, right? Because you need to know. That's why I really like doing mock drafts with actual people, right? Because when I do it myself, like you're the rookie drafts never go according to how you think it should go, right? There's always people that throw curveballs in there and things like that, right? They can never goes how you think it should go. So, I think it's great to know those type of things, and I think it's great. For example, like we had Finn's here on Team 8. He took Caleb Johnson at the 108, even though he went in the 4th round, basically saying, I don't care. And you're going to have people like that. You're saying Damian Martinez, whether he's an undrafted free agent, which he was in this mock draft, or Devin Neal, a 7th round pick in this mock draft, they're 3rd round picks for you. And that's good to know, right? And I think a lot of people feel that way. Do you treat 2 tight ends this way when you mock value wise? Two tight ends are similar to a tight end premium. Yeah, they are. So it's Kevin. I assume it's a 2 tight end, but not a tight end premium, is what you're saying. And do we still treat it this way? I would say a 2 tight end is equivalent to like at least it's more valuable to me than a half point tight end premium, than a 0.75 tight end premium, and then I'd say a 2 tight end and a 1 point tight end premium are relatively the same in terms of tight end value. So yeah, I would still take, like, I would be taking Warren here, or maybe even a spot higher. Colston Loveland definitely is a 1st round pick. You know, guys like Mason Taylor, Fannin, Arroyo, depending on where they go, they get pushed up. Definitely, yeah. I would still treat it as like a roughly about a 0.75 or 1 point tight end premium. So still a lot of value. Two Distinguished Gentlemen podcast. By the way, I noticed that you guys put out Dynasty content as well. So guys, make sure to go and support some of the smaller channels that we have here. We are a smaller channel. We have some smaller channels that follow us and stuff like that. So make sure to go out and support everyone here. Sorry, 1 second, guys. Yeah, no worries. I'm going to give you guys a follow too. And we should set up a collab at some point. Yeah. I want to do some collaborations with some YouTube channels, smaller YouTube channels. I still consider us pretty small. And I think to kind of fill in the void of like post rookie draft, pre-season, before the NFL season starts, that June to August, essentially kind of fill in some voids here, do some collaborations with people. We have Outer Rhythm Sports we're going to do one with after the NFL draft. And, they do a lot of college stuff, which is great, obviously, for rookie drafts and stuff like that. So, we'll definitely get together there. And once again, guys, join. If you guys are new and just hopping in, make sure to, of course, like the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, join our Discord. It's free. I'm leaving the link here. Literally free to join. You can join it. We're doing putting together one more listener league. So we're going to try and get that together. I think we need 4 or 5 more people to fill that up. We already have 2 that are basically done. We've already done the startups. One more listener league we're going to try and do before the NFL season starts. We're doing a giveaway, a free team review, probably multiple team reviews, because at that point we're all going to be happy the NFL draft happened. Probably have had a couple beers in me, and probably give away more than one team review. But all you have to do is join our Discord and then go to the content release or giveaway section and just type something there, and you'll be entered. We're going to draw the name after the first round of the NFL draft. Anyways, back to your question. Do you really think Golden would be more relevant than Ibuka and Burden? I don't. I wouldn't be surprised if Ibuka and Burden are more relevant. I don't. There's no locks at wide receiver for me in this draft class. Like, not even Ted McMillan to me is like, oh, he's going to be the best wide receiver. As soon as Golden announced he was coming out, because it was a little bit of surprise, right? It was a little bit of a surprise that Golden announced that he was entering the draft. I think we thought he was going to go back one more year. As soon as he went out and I started to scout him, I kind of fell in love with his game. I know his numbers don't, like, you watch what he was doing during the college football playoffs and you think, oh, this guy was a 1,500-yard receiver. And then you look and he didn't even have 1,000 yards. I think Golden has a little bit more upside than a guy like Ibuka. I don't think he has more upside than Burden necessarily. I think they're pretty equal in upside and ceiling. I kind of think like Golden is like Jordan Addison, Jamison Williams type of production, where like on the right team, on the right team, on a good offense, playing alongside a really good, other wide receiver like a Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra, that he can put up, wide receiver 20 fantasy point production. That's what I think. I don't think he's an alpha one. I don't think Ibuka is either. I do think Burden could turn into that. So it's tough to know like who's going to be better and stuff like that. The draft is definitely going to maybe make me lean one way over the other. So, yeah, I think I really like Golden, and I think teams are going to take him high because of the speed, and speed always bumps you up, right? Just because you can't teach speed, right? Like what they say, you can't teach speed. Speed is always going to be unteachable. So, that always bumps you up. So I don't know if that, like, I'm not confident Golden's going to be more relevant than Ibuka and Burden. I like him a little bit more than those two guys, but I wouldn't be surprised if both of them are better than Golden. Like, that's kind of how this wide receiver class feels. What if Milroe goes in the first, man? If Milroe goes in the first, let's say so Cam Ward 101, Shador Sanders 107, the 7th overall pick. If Milroe goes, let's just say in the 20s, I think you can argue him over Shador Sanders because of the rushing ability. Like, he doesn't need to be a good passer. He does not need to be a good passer to be fantasy relevant, whether he's a good quarterback or not. So I would say I would take Jalen Milroe if he goes in the first round in the 20s, let's say, over Shador Sanders in a super flex league. And in a one quarterback league. I think in a one quarterback league, you can argue Milroe is the first quarterback taken in that scenario because you're looking more for upside in one quarterback leagues. Like QB 15 doesn't do it for you. You need, you can find those guys. Everyone has a top 15 quarterback in a one quarterback league, So you're shooting for the top 5 guys. So I would take Milroe over Cam Ward in a one quarterback league. Cheeseheads always has trade questions. Cheeseheads is always making moves, which I love to see. He has Marvin Harrison Jr., and he needed a true QB1. Traded Addison Kraft 302 for the 112, 27 first, then traded 112 and 26 first for Murray. Traded Addison Kraft and the 302 for the 112 and the 27 first. Okay, I don't mind that. If it's a non-tight end premium league, if it's pretty heavy tight end premium, I'd probably lean the Addison side. I would say, to me, Addison is kind of worth like a little bit more than the 112, but I would happily trade Kraft in a non-tight end premium. I would happily trade Kraft in a 302 for the 27 first. So I think, like, for me, the Addison's about 108, 109 value in this draft class. So obviously you lose there for the 112, but the difference of that for Addison to the 112, and then it's made up by Kraft in the 302 for the 27 first, unless you play in a really, really heavy tight end premium league. So then you traded the 112 and 26 mid first for Murray, and I don't mind that. I think Murray is still has that potential. I mean, even last year, like Kyler Murray um, had a down year, right? Like we would say Kyler Murray didn't play well last year. Um, he was still QB 14 in points per game, even though he had a down year. So we know what he's capable of. If he can just put it all together. So I don't mind trading 2 firsts for Murray. It's a risk, but knowing that one of them is the 112 and that 26 is probably mid to late. So kind of like 2 late first round picks for Kyler, I'm totally fine with. We answered that. What's the highest value a late 2020? What's the highest value a late? Uh, you're 3 minutes behind. Is fine. Sixth overall pick. Okay. So you meant the sixth overall pick. It's going to be hard to get up to the sixth with what you have. You would have to trade future. You would have to trade a future first and probably multiple of your seconds, if I had to guess, Marvin. What are you saying here, Marvin? The highest value a late 2025 first, second, and third can give me in a single pick this 2026, I think is what you're saying. I mean, I would start looking to trade my 2025 first round pick around the 110 for a future first, if that makes sense. So usually right around the 10th pick of each round is where I kind of 9th or 10th pick, depending on how I feel, is where I say, all right, if anyone sends me, I have the 110. If anyone sends me a random 26 first, unless I'm guaranteed that team's going to win the championship, I usually take it. So that's kind of right around where I value those. Yes. Let's do that collab. I'll message you and we'll set something up here. I meant the sixth overall pick. No worries. Appreciate you, Chip Chaser. John Ross had speed. Yeah, and John Ross got drafted top 10 because of his speed. Now, that does, I'm not saying because he's fast, he's going to be good, but because he's fast, teams are going to value him a little bit more, right? That's why guys like Tutu Atwell. Tutu Atwell went in the second round because he ran like a 4.32. Like teams just value what it doesn't mean much for fantasy. It doesn't mean much for fantasy necessarily, but teams value what that speed does for their offense. It opens up their offense and everything. So like, yeah, I mean, John Ross is the perfect example of like overdrafting someone because of speed, but also speed doesn't mean you're going to be good. But I think Golden's more one. I was surprised he ran that fast. I thought he was going to run in the 4.3s, and not a lot of people were thinking that. I think I mentioned that back in like February before the combine that I thought there was a good chance he runs in the 4.3s and he ran a 4.29. But I think Golden does more than just like a speed guy. So keep the questions coming, guys. We'll stay live for just a few more minutes, and we'll try to get to all these questions. Appreciate all the support today. Mark says he's targeting Ja'Cory Cross-Get-Merritt in fourth in all my drafts. He's getting overlooked because of the lack of film on him. Absolutely, he is. His story, if you guys don't know, he's Ja'Cory Cross-Get-Merritt. He played, I think, 4 years at Alabama State, so FCS school. That was from 2019 to 2022. And then he transferred to New Mexico in 2023. Had a good year. Had a really good year at New Mexico. Obviously, it's New Mexico, lower level competition, but still, like he played well. He rushed for 1,200 yards, had 17 touchdowns, over 6 yards a carry. Transferred to Arizona in 2024, and then I think he like committed to Arizona, went to Ole Miss, committed to Ole Miss, and then committed back to Arizona. Played in one game last year in 2024. Rushed for over 100 yards, and then was deemed ineligible for the rest of the season. He couldn't play the rest of the year because of eligibility stuff back at Alabama State. And then, so that's all we saw from him last year. Next time we see him play is in the East-West Shrine Bowl, like the all-star game, essentially, and he was the offensive MVP. So, like, he is getting overlooked. He's older. He's an older player. He's an older player. I think he's already like 20. I think he's going to be 25 soon, which is kind of old for a running back. Yeah. Oh, he just turned 24 today. So happy birthday to him. He just turned 24 today. So he's a little bit older. So that's going to push him to day 3, most likely. Kind of like a guy like Ray Davis. I really liked Ray Davis coming out last year, but I knew he was going to fall to day 3 because of his age. So I think he's a sneaky 4th round pick in rookie drafts as well. Milrow got invited to the draft. They only invite 16 players, so somebody knows something that you could be right, and he accepted it. Not only did he get invited, but he accepted it. So maybe he knows something, right? Kind of like going back to Matthew Golden, why I like him a lot. One of the reasons, whether this is good or not, is one of the reasons I like him is that he entered this year's draft, even though he could have gone back to Texas. And so that either tells me there's one of two things that tells me. One, someone was telling him, "Hey, you're going to be a high draft pick," or two, he just felt like this wide receiver class wasn't very good, and 2026 was a lot better potentially, and he felt like he had a better shot here. So one of those two things. So no worries, Marvin. Hopefully that answered to you. Yeah, right around the 110 is 110, 210, 310 is when I start asking for future random picks of that round. So um, I sure hope Dart at 10 for a single 26 first. It could be. It could be, depending on the team's rebuilding or not. So Royals over Burden. I feel like Royals isn't given the good player, bad situation label that Burden gets. How I rank guys, it's Tet and Golden are in my tier one. Ibuka and Burden are in my tier two. And then I have Royals in my tier three with some other guys. I'm going to have official rankings here soon, a video, but I have Royals in that next tier of guys. The problem is he never gets mocked to a good team or a good situation. He gets like third round capital to the Cardinals or something, and I just don't really love that draft spot. So in the third round, I'd love to see Royals in Tennessee. Me too. I'd love to see him anywhere where he has the potential to be a wide receiver two for a team or second target for a team, right? Even like a team like the Broncos. I love Royals on the Broncos, because I think he could be the second best wide receiver there. So Chiefs, which is what he went in this draft, third round. I don't hate, but again, Mahomes is going to have to get back to that. He's going to have to get back to that 5,000 yards and 40 plus touchdown type of production. So I unfortunately don't have enough time, but we're going to be live tomorrow evening, 7 Eastern, and we'll probably do a rookie mock then as well. So don't have enough time right now. I do have to take off here in just a couple of minutes. So tomorrow Eastern, 7 Eastern, we'll do either a Dynasty startup mock or a rookie mock. Probably rookie, just because we're getting excited about the draft and stuff. Is Herbert the kind of guy you want to trade for a like a tier up, Marvin? Is that what you're saying? Justin Fields and an early first or Herbert? I would probably take. I feel like I can get a little bit more for Herbert. Herbert's a guy I want to tear down from. To me, if you look at, let's just go to like the keep trade cut rankings, right? And you look at all, we'll answer this question and then we got to take off. But you look at the keep trade cut rankings here, right? For quarterbacks. To me, you have the difference makers, the rushing guys: Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. That's my top four. I think Drake May could enter that conversation because of his rushing ability. I have Burrow a little bit lower. After guys like Jalen Hurts and Drake May, to me, you get this giant tier of quarterbacks who are non-difference makers, and any one of them in any given year could finish over the other one, right? And I wouldn't be surprised. Right, I'd be kind of surprised, or there's injuries that happen if Josh Allen, Lamar, Hurts aren't in like the top 5 or 6 of quarterbacks, right? There's something that happened. But guys like Herbert versus Caleb versus Stroud versus Nix versus Love versus Purdy, like all these guys could finish over each other. So I just think Herbert's at the top of a tier of those guys that I'm willing to. I like Herbert, and we do have to think like he has a very positive image in the dynasty community, right? And so we have to remind ourselves of that. Like people like Herbert, so his perceived value is higher than a guy like Brock Purdy. But I'm fine with the tear down from Herbert to a Love and getting an extra first, a Herbert to someone else and getting multiple assets. So Baker Mayfield is another guy, right? Like he's another guy that could be really good. So yeah, like I'm all for tearing down. Now, Justin Fields and a 26 first. The reason I'm a little bit uncomfortable there. Now, let me preface this by saying I think Fields is going to be, if he plays all year, easily top 10. probably top 7, and a good chance of being top 5. Like just because of his rushing ability. The year where he rushed for 1,000 yards and threw for like 2,400 yards, he was QB 7 or something, right? Last year, in the first 6 games for the Steelers, if you just look at that in points per game, he was QB 7, I think. So I'll preface it by saying that. But I'm not super confident. One, like Justin Fields could be, he's not guaranteed to play the whole year. I think there's a very good chance he does, but it's not guaranteed. And he's not guaranteed beyond 2025. That makes me a little bit scared about down tiering. I would want a guy that I feel like, okay, I'm going to get, you know, I have 2 to 3 years here of this guy being the starting quarterback for his team, and he could finish better than Herbert, right? So I think that's why I would be a little bit. I want a little bit more in that trade. If I had to make it, sure, but I think I'd want a little bit more. Ricky says, I think Trey Harris' size and game will translate next. My problem with Trey Harris, and I don't necessarily disagree with you, my problem is basically like that offense. I just don't know how to evaluate Jackson Dart, Trey Harris in that offense because it was just so. He ran 3 routes. He ran a 6 route, a hitch route, run 5, 10 yards, turn around. He ran a go route, a 9 route, and then he ran a wide receiver screen. And on some of his wide receiver screens, he literally didn't even move. He stood there in his wide receiver stance until the ball was thrown to him. So I just don't know how to evaluate that type of player and stuff like that. So I don't necessarily disagree with you. I'm just a little bit lower on Trey Harris than most just because I feel like that offense was just so catered to, and it made it so easy. Now, that could be he was just in that offense and wasn't asked to do anything, right? Sure, Ricky, we did think that, but we also thought the same about Jonathan Mingo, right? Coming out of Ole Miss and what happened with Jonathan Mingo, right? So I don't disagree with you. And I think Trey Harris to me is the perfect take a chance on him in the middle second round. But I'm just a little bit lower personally on him. But you're right, he does have kind of everything there. And we got to be careful about like discrediting him because of the offense he played on. If that's all he was asked to do, that doesn't mean he can't do more, right? So, yeah, I mean, yeah, DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, right? Like, oh, we thought about that, but same with Jonathan Mingo and other guys. So it's interesting. He is an interesting guy. Tier down, yeah, no worries. Baker Mayfield, I agree, could be top 5. Mark says I have Jaden Daniels, Tua, Justin Fields as my 3 quarterbacks in the super flex. I have the 102. I have Jaden Daniels, Tua, and Justin Fields as my 3 quarterbacks in the super flex. I have the 102 and have been offered the 111 for Tua. So I guess the question is Cam Ward and the 111. Cam Ward and the 111 for Tua? I have been. Mark, you're saying you would trade the 102 and the 10. Are you saying just straight up Tua and the 111? I'm a little bit confused there. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. If I have Tua, I wouldn't want to give him up for more than for anything less than like the 108. Do you guys know if you had to guess, like if you just randomly thought in your head, I wonder where Tua finished in points per game last year at the quarterback position, where would you guess? And I think most people would, including myself, before I found this out, most people would guess QB 20, QB 18, like in that range. He finished, if you take out Joe Milton and Jimmy Garoppolo in points per game, because they only played in the one game, if you take those 2 guys out, he finishes QB 13 in points per game, Tua. And I think that really surprises people because he also left games early, at least 1, right? Maybe 2. He left games early, and it felt like a down year for him. So, I think people are kind of sleeping on Tua a little bit. I know the concussion stuff, and sure, that could happen to him. That could really happen to anyone, like a career-ending injury, right? Obviously, it's more likely with Tua because of the concussions. But I think he's being undervalued personally. I don't want to give up Tua if I'm not getting a top 8 pick in this draft. So I wouldn't give up Tua for the 111. I would keep Tua. I would want more personally, and I don't care. I don't care if I have Jaden Daniels, Tua, Fields. I'm going to get Cam Ward. I'll hold out. I'll hold out a little bit longer. I'll hoard some quarterbacks and see when people get desperate a little bit. Then I'll get what I want for him. So Trevor Lawrence for the 206. That's smash, 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 smash. Is that? I mean, even in one quarterback, I think I would take that. Superflex. That's an easy smash. I would, if I had Trevor Lawrence, I wouldn't trade him away for anything less than the 105. Like that's how high I am. Oh, easy. Mark Cam Ward in the 111. Easy Cam Ward in the 111. If you're talking about, do I prefer both those picks or Tua? It's Cam Ward in the 111. Yeah, but I still wouldn't trade the one. Muted myself. My microphone went out. I still wouldn't trade the 111 for Tua though. So, but anyways, guys, I do have to get out. Appreciate everyone. Join us tomorrow. We're gonna go live 7 p.m. Eastern, Sunday evening. Probably some more rookie drafts. So join us live there. Appreciate you all, and we'll see you guys in the Discord.